12. It's your boy Jay Bessie and boy Jerricks, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 30. On today's episode, we're gonna give a quick rundown of each matchup from Wild Card Weekend, and then following that, we're gonna talk about Deion Sanders prime time might be going to Dallas. Our reaction to that, and then we're gonna talk about Mike Tomlin, the coach we know very well. Then at the end of this episode, Jerricks gonna give his divisional round picks. Before we get into any of that, as always, we want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do, and without him, we would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. All right, Wild Card Weekend is down the drain. It all started with the Texans and the Chargers. The Texans defeated the Chargers 32-12. That did not go the way that I thought it would. So, Jared, why did it go this way?
It was simple, and it's what the Texans did what I said they needed to do. It was their defense. The Texans defense, they came out and they made things hard for Justin Herbert early on. I mean, if you look at it, outside of Lab McConkey, no wide receiver was really producing. Okay. And on top of that, Justin Herbert, he wasn't making the best decisions. He was a little careless with the ball at times. So, I mean, it was a big that their defense stepped up. And so for the Chargers, like I said, they had to find somebody outside of Lad to make plays, and they couldn't. Lack of that. And Justin Herbert, I mean, people are trying to build this narrative that he's not ready for big time playoff football. He's played 2 games in the playoffs.
Yep.
I don't think it's fair for us to just go out and say, "Oh, he's not good when it matters." No, that's not fair. He's still very young and he's very talented. He has a lot of room for growth and improvement, but he didn't have the best game, and it was going to take them for what their defense was doing. It was going to take him playing at his best, and he wasn't. So that's why the score ended up looking how it was. It wasn't even a game.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you just said about this narrative that everybody's trying to build, I actually had a conversation with Three Man Weave about this, and we was messaging each other about it. I think it's not fair to give that narrative yet because the game against Jacksonville, where they lost that big lead, right? It takes 2 to tango. It wasn't just Justin the cause for that losing that lead. You have to look at it as in the first half, the defense was getting stops, the offense was scoring, right? In the second half, the offense wasn't scoring. Also, the defense wasn't getting stopped. Like it was a complete team debacle. You can't just point the finger at Justin Herbert. So you can't really use that in this new narrative that Justin not ready for the playoffs. But he definitely wet the bed in this one. All right, you got to change the sheets because them sheets were soaked. All right, look, this game got out of hand because they was up 6-0 for all the first half. And then we all know what can happen. What happened with Georgia? And I believe they played. Who did Georgia play in the playoffs? And they lost to?
Notre Dame.
Help me out. Notre Dame. What happened at the end of the half?
The turnover to Alexis Field.
Boom. At the end of the half, a quick swing just like that. Same thing happened in this game. With 58 seconds left, the score was 6-0. Texans scored. Chargers got the ball back, trying to be aggressive, trying to go score, right? What Curry Smart did, I don't know. Curry Smart did the same thing, yes. He tried to go score and 3 and out. Then they punted it. And then guess what? The Texans went down and scored. So that was a 10-point swing in 58 seconds. They ended up losing the first half 10-6 when you had control of the whole entire first half. So that little momentum swing carried over to the second half, and it was over with. And Justin Herbert, like you said, being careless with the ball, he missed Larry McConkey, put it over his head, ended up leading to a pick. One of the picks popped off a receiver's hand, but yeah, Justin wet the bed, and like you said, outside of Larry McConkey, nobody showed up. But for the Texans, C.J. Stroud made plays with his legs. That's what kind of changed this game. He used his legs finally, right? You always say it, CJ, run. You know what I'm saying? You are athletic. CJ ran, and that kind of opened up everything. And I still, if they was to play this game again tomorrow, I would still pick the Chargers only because the Texans' offense to me is just killed with injuries at the receiver position. But the Texans had a big win, and it wasn't just a little win; they won by 20. All right, so they basically took everything. Rex Ryan said on TV that the Chargers enjoyed Bowden, right? And then the Texans took that personal and they went and put a smacking on the Chargers. So congratulations to the Texans for moving on. And now you're going to the Arrowhead Invitational. So good luck with that. All right. Then the next game, Saturday night, Ravens and the Steelers. All right, you picked the Ravens. Kudos to you. You did it. And I was joking when I said you were a little sellout. But I didn't blame anybody for picking the Ravens in this game. I gave reasons why the Steelers could upset, but none of that happened. So, Jared, what happened in this matchup?
They for the Ravens on the Ravens side of things, they punched us in the mouth early. They came out and they just dominated every single phase. Their defense dominated our offense, and then their offense dominated our defense. I've never seen our defense look that bad, and it wasn't just the we're getting out schemed. It was we're getting out outmanned. It's like they said, okay, we're the big dogs today. We're gonna treat y'all like the little puppies. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, they just running us over. I got my defensive lineman going backwards and falling to the ground, losing balance. Derrick Henry, none of my DBs can tackle Derrick Henry. Nobody. So he's running through our face. Put Minka Fitzpatrick on a highlight reel. I mean, it's just it looked bad from the start, and then we tried to get things going in the second half, but that one touchdown from them, it just killed all the momentum we had. So we waited too late to try and fight back. And also, what we did was we just we didn't look what I told you we had to do. I kept telling you this whenever you were back home for the break before you went back. I told you we have to establish some points early. We have to score early and try to like basically try and control the game. Score early, allow the run game to be a factor. Score early, allow the run game to be a factor. We can control the clock. Defense get stops, make the game be in Lamar's hands, and we'll be fine. They ran the ball for they had 303 rushing yards, close to 300 rushing yards, if not 300. So that's what we can't do. Like we did the opposite of what we said to do. They came out 21-0. And I kind of knew the game was over when we just let them score right before half. Like we let them just like that. Like it could have been 14-0. We came out in the second half, score once. Now it's a one possession game. We scored in the second half. It's still a two possession game because they literally walked down the field in our defense. So it was bad from start to finish, and there was no way for us to win that game. So I mean, like I said, what I thought was gonna happen happened, but it's not what I wanted to happen. So
Yeah, sometimes we gotta do our job and just get the analytics, right? We gotta be analysts, right? Just say what it is, what it is, right? I tried to give optimism, but clearly I was wrong. Look, like you said, we got punched in the mouth from the jump. Like we came out with no energy. The offense was dead, and one thing that kind of bothers me about the Steelers is when we see the Steelers go tempo, right? You see Russ start dotting things up. Things start opening up. He looks very comfortable. When I'm sitting back, like, look, I know this is the NFL, and you don't see a lot of teams run a little 4-minute offense where hey, we run a play and then lineman gets set up, quarterback leave the sideline, get the signal in his mic, and then make the signals, then call the play. Right? No, it's almost a no huddle, but it's not a 2-minute drill. I know teams don't really do that, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I feel like that could have been something that we came out with because our offense always looks better and it keeps the defense on their toes. And it's just, I feel like it's something that we have to do. But we didn't until the second half. And the second half, you saw we put up a couple points and made it respectable. I mean, but we know if you watch that game, you know the game was worse than what the score is. Right. But yeah, this Ravens team, what you have to do is you got to be able to go shot for shot with them because I don't think you can just completely shut down their run game. I don't think so. And from what I've seen in the past with John Harbaugh is when the quarterback can go back and forth with Lamar, he wants Lamar to show out and show off. And he will say, you know what, bump the run game, we're gonna throw the ball. So if you can keep up with them in points, then you'll have a chance. Because the main goal is to get the ball at Derrick Henry's hand. And you see the Steelers tried that. They tried just diving down Derrick Henry every single time, let Lamar pull it. But Lamar is also dynamic with his legs, right? So you're in a tough bind when you play the Ravens, but if you can go shot for shot with them, you can put up points, you can give them a run. But the Steelers didn't have a chance because the defense was not making plays. And that's a big reason why we won a lot of games this year because the defense made plays. And over these past 5 weeks, well, in the Eagles game, defense made plays. But from the Chiefs game to now, the defense made no plays. Literally. The best defensive player in the world, who we still believe is, just because you had a little 4 week skid, I'm not going to sit here and say he's not the best player in the world no more. He did not show up. He made no plays in that game. Minka Fitzpatrick made no plays in that game. Right? I mean, he really couldn't because they was running the ball a lot, right? But Cam Hayward did what he could in the run game, but there was no plays made on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what the Steelers are built on, and it didn't happen. So the Ravens ran the ball extremely well and just pumped the Steelers, and the Steelers couldn't make any big time plays. And that's what we need. That's what we built momentum off of. And it didn't happen. So, hey, see you next year. All right. Then on Sunday, we got the Bills and the Broncos. I didn't think this would be. I thought it would be a little closer than this for sure because that Broncos defense. But Josh Allen went out and put a statement, had a statement win, winning 31-7. What happened in this game?
I'm not gonna lie. The way that first drive went for the Broncos, I thought we might have ourselves a game.
Yeah,
But eventually, the Bills' defense they stepped up. They started making it hard for Bo Nix, and mind you, Bo Nix did everything he could. I'm talking everything he could. He had a pretty good game for it to be his first game as a rookie, but it wasn't enough, especially when you have to keep answering if you're going against Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen made one of the better defenses in the league look like they were bottom tier, and that shows how great he is. And so it looked very easy for him. And I mean, like I said, we expected them to win, and we expected it to be like this initially. But whenever they came out hot in the beginning of the Broncos, I thought we might have ourselves a game. But I called you and I told you that when Will Lutz missed that field goal before half,
yeah,
so it's over. It's over. That is what you needed right there to stick in it, and you see they didn't score again for the rest of the game. So um, just an easy one for the Bills, and now they go on to play Baltimore. So that should be a good one.
yeah. It's deflating. It's deflating when you miss that field goal right there. That should give you, it gives you a little You know what I'm saying? It gives you a little momentum. Points are always momentum swingers. When you can get any kind of points, you can get momentum. So when they missed that field goal, you're right, that really did hurt. But this was just too big of a matchup. Like you said, the Broncos came out swinging, right? And it was almost like nervous energy on both sides. But the Broncos were able to take care of that, take advantage of it. And then after that, the Bills settled in. It was over with. Like it was definitely two different classes. The Broncos. The problem is with the Broncos, they had no run game. Like Bo Nix led their team in rushing with 4 carries and 43 yards. The next best carrier had 29 yards. Right, the Broncos don't really have a back they can lean on. They run by committee, and even by committee, they couldn't get nothing done. So that's putting more pressure on Bo Nix in his very first playoff game. This is why I don't bet on rookies in their first playoff game, especially on the road, because it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. If you're a Broncos fan, you should be happy, right? Like you should be cool. Y'all made it to the playoffs. Nobody thought y'all would be here. Y'all future is bright because when you succeed this early, and we successful this early, you know you're a couple pieces away. They need another great weapon on offense in the receiver position, in my opinion. They need to go attack in the free agency or in the draft or get a receiver because you need somebody to help with Bo Nix. Outside of Cortland Sutton, I'm not scared of nobody else on your team offensively, right? So add someone on offense. The defense is stout. See if you can keep Vance Joseph because he might be a head coaching candidate, but this team gonna be good next year. But the Bills, they're just in a different class, and I think from the jump, even after the Broncos score, you're right. I knew it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be closer. I still thought the Bills were gonna win, but then the Bills just put it on and never looked back. All right. Next, we got the Eagles and the Packers. All right. It was a good one. It was a little more dry than we thought it would be. It was dry. It was dry. That's the word for it. It was dry. But if you love football, I think this was a pretty good game. What happened in this
Jordan Love. Okay. I'm not gonna say Jordan Love. Let me not say Jordan Love. I told you going into this that he looked shaky. He didn't look like the Jordan Love of last year, and I take that statement back because the Eagles defense just looked great. They looked amazing. They were flying around, making plays the whole time. But like there is no way for the Packers to win this game. There wasn't. Like the score doesn't show what really happened in that game. This is more so of a. It wasn't as bad as our game, but the Eagles controlled it from the start. Well, talking like literally from the start, opening kickoff return, fumble, Eagles get it, go score. Which, by the way, I think he had the ball back and was down. Should have been Packers ball. A little bit
Yeah,
of home
that's
cooking.
debatable. It was
But
debatable.
I mean, no, that's okay though. So they went out, they scored, and then the Packers couldn't really respond. And I really feel like if the Eagles wanted to, they could have went and put more points on the board. I think that at some point, with their defense being so hot, they just started to just manage, just try and control the ball, don't turn it over, try to run off clock, and then let your defense go out there and continue to make stops. That's exactly what their defense did. Jordan Love, like I said, they made it real hard for him to succeed. They made it real hard. I mean, like I was literally thinking, like, why is it like it's so hard for him to complete a pass right now? But that's just because of how great the Eagles defense looked. So that's pretty much all it was. Big time plays by the Eagles defense, and then the offense just managing and taking care of the rest of the game.
Yeah, the Packers to me. because of their lack of threats at the receiver position, this wasn't going to be a good game because you can't just run the ball on the Eagles all day and expect good things to happen. Like Josh Jacobs had 18 carries for 81 yards, but you got to be able to have big plays against this team. And at the receiver position, Christian Watson is really their big threat, even though he's not even a tier one, tier two receiver. He's a big threat because of his speed and his size. This Packers team has to add a receiver. They have to. Now I thought going into this year that because of the success I saw with Jordan Love last year in the playoffs, right, beating Dallas, and then playing close with the 49ers. Like I'm tired of everybody saying that, oh, just because Jordan Love beat Dallas, y'all put him on his pedestal. No, because he also competed with the 49ers in the next round. And he was also worse than Dallas. He was also his team was worse than Dallas. His team was worse than the 49ers on paper. But they went out there, they put up good games. So I thought that with his performance last year and with your receiver, I thought they would all take another step. And that really didn't happen this year. So I think they have to add a receiver like ASAP if they want to open this offense up. But against the Eagles, one thing that I'm hearing about Jalen Hurts is he didn't look good that game. Right, it's a lot of Jalen Hurts hate out there. When, in my opinion, he didn't have to do much. Right, if your defense can play the way they played, Jalen Hurts don't got to go out there and throw the ball 30 times. He don't got to go out there and put up these monster numbers that people want to see. I understand we want to see it, but Jalen Hurts, he plays winning football in the playoffs. Right, we seen him play in these ugly games where he gonna do what he gonna do what he got to do. But then we also seen him playing big games, like against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, where he had to go shot for shot, and he did it. So he can do it. It's just in this game he really didn't have to. Right, and then we have Saquon Barkley. That's another reason why you don't have to be Superman, because you have one of the best backs in all of football. Saquon had 25 carries on 119. So to me, Jalen Hurts didn't have to have a big game. And when you're the Eagles and you can jump on the Packers like they did and score early, and you know the Packers gonna struggle to get points, then the offense don't really gotta keep putting up points. I mean, we want to see these blowouts, but they're playing winning football. I think people need to understand that they're playing winning football, and this is what is I think is going to take them to the Super Bowl, because this upcoming week. Well, I'm leave that alone. I'm talking about that later. All right.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, almost got ahead of myself. All right, but then Sunday night. Things just didn't go my way. All right, I picked the Bucks, and they ended up losing on the last second field goal to the Commanders, 23-20. Jerrick, what happened in this one?
Mistakes. Shooting themselves in the foot, literally. If the Buccaneers cut out their turnovers and the mistakes that they made, they would have won that game. They would have
Yes.
won that game. Beautiful goal line stand, and then you fumble the handoff. Try to get a little cute, little jet action, and you fumble the handoff, and that was bad. And to make things even worse, later on in the game, it was tied, right, 20-20 at this point. Tied. You're about to go for it, and timing with your centers off. Center lights got too bright. He snaps the
Wait, no, they were,
ball.
no, no, they were down three. They were down three. Then that ended up leading to a field goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's my bad. So
yeah.
timing messed up, and then that messed up the run, the handoff, and it just all crumbled from there. And so it was bad, but enough about Tampa Bay being so bad. You got to give your kudos to Jaden Daniels. You have to. He made plays, and he was making things look like he looked so poised out there. He looked like he's been there before when he hasn't even been in a big game in college. Like, we saw him in no big type games in college for us to say, okay, that can translate. No, this was his first really big game that really had like incredible stakes to it, and he showed up. He showed up and showed out. So I have to give kudos to him, especially for me being somebody that didn't see him being good so fast. I thought it was gonna be a little bit of a learning curve. I thought that he was just more so I'm just better athletes than y'all in college, and I have better weapons. But you see what he's been doing in the NFL. So he played a pretty great game. Now, unfortunately, this little Cinderella run coming down to the end. But I mean, hey, this is just like the Broncos, though. You go out there, you play the game, whatever happens, and then let's get better for the next year. On to the next, because they're ahead of the curve right now. Nobody expected them to be here. So the fact that they even won the playoff game, that's huge kudos to them.
1000%. Like I said, the playoffs, it comes down to one or two plays that can win you or lose you a game, especially when the games are this close. And like you said, fumble handoff and I don't even know if it was a handoff because Jalen McMillan, like, he wasn't even trying to get the ball. So I don't know what happened with that exchange, but that, and then like you said, 3rd and 1, y'all driving, y'all walking down the field, 3rd and 1, you trying to get them off sides, and the center snaps it, nobody else moves, they get through and they stop the run. So it comes down to two plays that lost this game for the Buccaneers. But then on the flip side, like you said, Jaden Daniels, 24 for 35, 268 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, Bo Nix took care of the ball, right? Bo Nix didn't turn the ball over, but Jaden Daniels put up points and put up the yards, right? So, hey, I was wrong, right? Like I said, I still, even next year, I'm not finna. Last year, I bet you can see this Stroud against the Browns because, like I said, we're quarterbacks in the playoffs. Don't trust it. This year, I'm 1 for 1. Right, next year, whoever the rookie quarterback is that goes to the playoffs, if they do, I'm still not gonna do it. Cause I just don't, especially on the road. Like, I believe only 3 quarterbacks before Jaden Daniels won their very first rookie playoff game on the road. Only 3 quarterbacks. So he's the fourth to do it. Like, it doesn't happen. But Jaden, man, if he can stay healthy, right? If he can stay healthy and he don't turn into an RG3, right? Cross your fingers about that. Because he
Chill,
got hurt
chill.
twice. No, I'm saying. Because he does run a lot and he takes hits. He takes
Big
hits.
hit, boy.
So exactly. So and
Talking sideline.
he hurt his ribs earlier this year, and he also had a knee injury going into the playoffs. I don't know how big that was, but as long as he don't go that route, this team found their guy. They did. I didn't think I would be saying that, especially in the playoffs. Like, I didn't think I would say it during the year, but the fact that they're in the playoffs and they won a playoff game, like, this is almost equal to win the Super Bowl for them. Like, you're so ahead of what you thought, where you thought you was gonna be. So, hey, congratulations to the Commanders. So y'all found y'all guy. Just keep him upright, keep him healthy, and y'all gonna be competing for years to come. All right, but Todd Bowles and Baker, man, look, that hurts. It hurts when two routine plays you do every year, two of them, just you botched them, and you end up losing the game. All right, you lost some people some money, but I ain't gonna say nothing about that. All right, and then let's go to Monday night. Monday night. Oh, somebody told me last week. They said, "Oh, I can't wait till I see you on next week's episode of the Straight to the Point podcast. This, that, and another, and that, blah, 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 blah." And then I baited you. I baited you. I wanted you to take the bait, and you did, because you bet on Sam Darnold to win this game. And before you go, I want you to, and I didn't tell you about any of this that I'm about to say. All right, so y'all, what I'm about to do is I'm about to read. A friend of mine is a Vikings fan, okay? And I texted him. I said, just give me your honest reaction. I didn't talk no trash, no noise. I said, give me your honest reaction for what happened, okay? Now this there's some explicit language because he was pretty upset about this about this game. I'm basically just sum up some things he said. All right, he said, all right. First of all, he talked about the O line, which was a problem. Don't get it twisted. The O line was a problem. He said our interior O line needs to be gone. But then he said Darnold wasn't mentally ready for this game. The lights was too bright. All right, and he said Kevin O'Connell got out coached. And he said, but I think it's more that he knew Darnold's limits because Darnold couldn't even throw a simple screen pass, right? And then the second half, we gave up. He also sent me this article by Michael Silver, who's a well-known journalist, right, in sports. And this is something that he said in his article. Look for Justin. Look for Justin. O'Connell told his quarterback in the headset. He said, then look for Jordan, and if you don't like what you see, throw it out of bounds. You tell me, you tell me what NFL quarterback is getting babied like that during a game. Yeah, that means Sam wasn't there. That means the lights were too bright, which is what I tried to say last week. The lights gonna be too bright. Y'all really gonna bet on Sam Darnold on the 3-Man Weed podcast? All 3 of them said, "You know what? We're going with the Vikings." I said, "Are you sure you want to bet on Sam Darnold?" They all said, "No, we're betting on the Vikings." But Sam Darnold is the guy. Sam Darnold is what makes this team go. He's a quarterback, right? And Kevin O'Connell, I'm gonna repeat this, said, "Look for Justin, then look for Jordan, and if you don't like what you see, throw it out of bounds." That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. I've never heard a coach walk a quarterback through those steps like that in a playoff game, let alone a regular season game, in a playoff game. Right? And for that reaction right there, y'all see Jerry, right? That's why I didn't tell him about this. Because I wanted to see his reaction to that going into this game. But go ahead, the floor is yours, buddy. What happened?
Man. Okay. That yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Whoever gave that man that information, they're sellouts. That's bad. They're public enemy number one. There's no way that that man should have found out that information. But I'm gonna put it like this: was the moment too big for Sam? Yes. Should I have known that? Yes. But I think it was more so of a he got rattled on top of it being a big moment. Okay, early on in the game, he's getting pressured, he's getting hit, he's losing the ball, and that just it spiraled. Like you said, like he couldn't make simple passes, and some of the simple passes that he made, they were hard catches for receivers. Like it looked bad, but I'm not gonna sit here and just say and just bash Sam Darnold. First playoff game, like you said, you showed us that you are who we thought you are before you started balling in Minnesota and creating this narrative around yourself that you're that good. But the offensive line, you're getting this man terrorized and getting this man killed by a defense that's not even that good. We saw this defense get just destroyed in weeks, in games. We saw his defense look bad. We saw Matthew Stafford have to literally come out there and save the game sometimes. But that defense looked completely new. And on the other side of things, Minnesota's defense, I mean, it's hard when the other team's scoring on defense and when like you're getting no rest, no breaks. You get a stop, 3 and out. You get a stop, 3 and out. So it didn't help at all. But like I said, I think that like for the amount of bashing that is happening on Sam Darnold, I think that some of it is we created this. I will admit I created this. Okay. Like the confidence that we had in Sam Darnold, it shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't have been there at all. So the fact that we created and we try to push this narrative that he was ready, this is his redemption story, that this is the second Baker Mayfield redemption story. We created this hype for him and he couldn't live up to it, and now we're bashing him for it. We need to be bashing ourselves. Okay, we didn't look. History repeats itself, and if you look in Sam Darnold's past, it's not that good. Okay, so yes, players get better, but in big times like this, players normally resort back to their true colors. Sam Darnold's true colors is he's not ready, and that's what it is. But what I will say is, everybody's saying JJ McCarthy or Daniel Jones, you're out of your mind. I'm not gonna lie. You're out of, first of all, if you're saying Daniel Jones, you need to you know nothing about football at all. Because Daniel Jones would not have helped you last night at all. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. And in my honest opinion, he's not better than Sam Darnold either. He would have did the exact same thing. So for people that are saying JJ McCarthy, I think this team is past a JJ McCarthy. I think they need a win now quarterback. I really do. In my opinion, can it get any worse than this with Sam Darnold? Now that he's been here before, now that he's seen it and experienced it, shouldn't he get better from this?
So you're saying next year you want to just bank? So you want to resign Sam Darnold?
Resign Sam Darnold. You have JJ McCarthy in your back pocket if he's playing bad. Get rid of Daniel Jones. Why not?
Because I believe this is a situation where we've seen Sam can play good when games don't matter. Like the stat is through the first 16 games, Sam Darnold was 14-2. Points per game was 26. Right, completion percentage was 68, 260 passing yards per game, 36 touchdowns, 16 turnovers. Right, 106 passer rating in the regular season. But then the last two games, the two biggest games of his career, in my opinion, he's 0-2, 9 points per game. 53 completion percentage, 205 passing yards per game, 1 touchdown, 2 turnovers, and then 66 passer rating. So we've seen Sam Darnold do good in regular season, and then we've seen him fold in these last two important games. So are you willing to bank You're gonna go off that and say, you know what, he's been here now, he got experience. Let's try another season. Let's try another year, and let's go see if he can get over this hump. That's what you want to bet on.
Unless you're, I'm banking on that. If your plan is JJ McCarthy, if that is your plan, no, I would bank on. If your plan is him or Daniel Jones moving forward, I will bank on re-signing him, Donald. Now, if you can go out, Russell Wilson's a free agent. If we don't re-sign him and you can get a Russell Wilson, if you can improve that offensive line to where that won't happen again, get a Russell Wilson. If Aaron Rodgers isn't done playing football and if he has more left in the tank, get Aaron Rodgers. But if you're gonna start JJ McCarthy or if you're gonna look to go draft another quarterback, you're sadly mistaken because your team is past that moment right there. So, like I said, I feel like it's Sam going forward, depending on where you're trying to go with this. If you're trying to go with a lesser quarterback or a younger quarterback, I think you just ride it out with Sam Darnold. Next year, if things go bad, okay, now we move on. But if you can go out and get a veteran quarterback that's ready, be my guest.
I think I'm not believing in wasting first round picks. If JJ McCarthy was the first round pick, dog, we got to see if it was if you're that guy.
I was against the pick in
We
general.
are.
I
You
don't know
right.
why you
We
called me.
are. I didn't believe in him either. Like I didn't. But hey, my friend is the Vikings pro. He believes in JJ McCarthy's team. That's what he told me. He sent me a picture of JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell hugging each other. Y'all can see it on the screen right now. He said this. He said this is his team. All right. But I'm not gonna read the rest of the article around the time. But look, it was simple. I think this was the easiest money to be made this weekend. I think that if you should have just went put the house on the Rams because to me, and I got mocked for this on a different podcast. Remember, you got mocked for saying that Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford is the second best quarterback coach duo in the league. I got mocked for saying that, but since Stafford has been to the Rams in his playoff career, he's 5-1, 26 points per game, 70 completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 3 turnovers, passer rating of 111. Like I understand you would say that Rams team was stacked when he won the Super Bowl, but he still played great. He still played good. Last year, they barely lost to the Lions, like literally barely lost to the Lions in the first round on the road. And this year took care of business against a lesser opponent because of the quarterback. So I think it was an easy pick. I don't know why everybody was like you, my friend. I don't know why y'all went and gambled on Sam Darnold. But
Am I wrong for
that's not
saying that
anything
the
on here.
Lions defense is gonna? I mean, the Rams defense is gonna be their downfall. Am I wrong for
But
saying that?
a part of those sacks though was Sam holding the ball too long. Like people gonna look at that. If people that not watch the game, they gonna say, "Dang, Sam was sacked 9 times." Well, maybe 5 of them was because Sam was holding the ball too long. I mean,
I think it's because he was rattled. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that early on they got him rattled. Like one of the plays. It was just the play call. He was waiting on his receiver to get open. It took too long to develop, longer than he had time, and he ate the sack. I mean, it was a third and long anyways. But like, look here, man, forget about it. I was wrong. You were right. I'm sorry. Let's move on, man. Let's move on.
all right, real quick. I'm gonna read this real quick. Boom. Michael Silver also said we can't be sure exactly what Darnold saw during that play when he said look for Justin, look for Jordan. When Kevin Collins said that, he said we can't be exactly sure what Darnold saw. Ghosts maybe. Millions of dollars evaporating before his eyes, but it wasn't Addison running free. The second year wideout was streaking down the sideline after feigning an out route, a move that turned around rookie safety Cameron Kitchens and left him trailing badly. Darnold, after taking a shotgun snap, looked right, pumped once, looked wait, backed up to avoid a pass rusher, and drifted to his left. All right, so I believe he just wasn't ready for the moment. I think it's that simple. And like you said, you're right. Maybe him out there getting punched in the mouth early, route, or maybe the fact that Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay put together a great opening drive game plan, walk down the field and score. Maybe that makes Sam say, "Oh, snap! I gotta go out there. I gotta keep up, right? I
You're
gotta
right.
go."
Thanks a lot, defense. You ain't helping me out at all.
Boom, that could mess up too, right? If you Sam Darnold and you see your defense getting walked on, now you're thinking, okay, this will be a shootout between me and Matthew Stafford. I got to bring my A game. That's putting way more pressure on you that you already got on yourself. That probably just killed him. All right, but that is it for the games that we wrapped up this weekend. Like I said, wild card weekend down the drain. We're heading to the divisional round. I do want to talk about this real quick. We'll talk about these real quick, but around the time. Prime to Dallas. I want to go first on this one because I do want to say something. This would be, and this is after they fired. Sorry, this is after firing Mike McCarthy. All right, Mike McCarthy was 49-35 as the Dallas head coach, 1-3 in the playoffs. All right, so Mike McCarthy, do I think he should have been fired? No, I don't think it's his fault, but that's neither here nor there. All right, but prime time to Dallas. I'm talking about Deion Sanders, what y'all don't know. If this happened, this would be the greatest hire of all time for every reason but football. Hear me out. For every reason but football. This is prime time, dude. We saw what he did with Jackson State, right? Put them on the map. That they was trending for a long time. Came to Colorado, put them on the map. They was trending for a long time. Now, I don't think he won any. He didn't win a bowl game with Jackson State. I think he lost the only one he went to, I believe. And then Colorado, he lost as well. So he doesn't have any big wins in his resume. But what Prime did in college was, bro, I'm prime time. If I come knocking on your door, you gonna come play for me. Like he attracted all the good athletes. Now he didn't get them all, right? Because of NIL and stuff like that. But if he did it like a couple years ago before this NIL stuff, his team would have been crazy stat. You already know. You're not telling Dion no if he wants you to play for his team. So this hire for marketing would be through feeding generations. This would feed generations. If Dion came to Dallas, bro, I'm talking viewership is already through the roof. It's gonna skyrocket. You talk about ticket sales, they already selling out. I'm like Jerry Jones will make so much money from making this move because Prime played in Dallas back in the '90s when they was winning. Like this is too good to be true. But for football, I don't know if this is a good move. We don't know. Because Dion, I'm not trying to bash Dion at all. You know I'm a Dion dude. I think Dion's the best player to touch football. I would say that to anybody. But I don't know if his X's and O's is on point like that. We don't know. We know that when he went to college, he's such a big name that he's going to get the recruitment. Because that's what college is all about. College, if you can recruit the best players, you're going to win. Like coaching matters in the big games, but for the most part, if you can get the best players on your team, you're going to win. And Prime was able to do that because of his name. This is the NFL. It's a little different, right? You got a cap room, you got to sign these people, you got to draft. So it's a different process. But X's and O's, I don't know if Dion can help this team win games. I don't know. I don't think this is a good hire when it comes to football. Everything else, media, marketing, all that stuff that Jerry Jones care about, you gonna kill in that. Great job, Jerry. This is the greatest hire ever for that. But when it comes to X's and O's, if you get a great OC and a great DC, okay. But X's and O's wise, I don't think it's gonna help them win games. What's your reaction to Prime maybe one of those?
Dion, don't do it. Do you would be selling your soul, and so many people will not be able to look at you with like the same amount of respect that you've built right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to Jackson State and you put them on the map, but then you kind of abandoned them. You kind of, man, don't get me wrong, you left them in better shape than when you found them.
Right.
But
Right.
you just kind of hung them out to dry. You went to Colorado, you did a big thing with your sons, and then like you're getting all these recruits. Me and you, we've been talking about all the recruits he got. I'm showing you highlights of the players that he got and telling you about all these players and how they can really be good in the next 2 years and really do something. So why would you leave that? Mind you, the only reason why I see him even going to the NFL, period, is to coach his son. The Cowboys aren't getting Shador Sanders. They're not. Because first of all, they're not giving up on Dak, at least not yet, because of the amount of money that they gave him. If they give up on Dak, that means that Dak would have to ride the bench to Shador because no team is going to want to eat that cap space, that cap hit to acquire Dak Prescott, let alone it's Dak Prescott. No team really wants to acquire him at all. So that would be you drafting, unnecessarily trading up and drafting somebody that might not even start. So there's no reason for you to go. Now, what you said about football terms, you don't know if this would be a good hire. I think it will be because, now, mind you, I thought of this whenever you started talking about, like, he's not you don't think his X's and O's are there, especially for the NFL yet. They don't have to be. Once again, this is Deion Sanders. I think that if the Cowboys do this, you make sure you have two great coordinators. And Dion's job is to get these men ready to play a football game every week and to establish a culture. Literally, that's it. He's here to manage the team, to make sure that they're prepared each and every week mentally to get ready to go, and then establish a culture that will have that built in the team already for years to come. You get the court, you get the OC, you get the DC. They call. There's a lot of head coaches that don't call plays. They might help out. They might have their inputs, but there's a lot of coaches that they're sitting here and they're almost like game managers. Know when to call a timeout. Know when to throw the challenge flag. Know like situational stuff, and then their job is to get the team ready. Go in that locker room before the game or at halftime and give them that big speech. We've seen Dion give his college big speeches. Get them hyped up, get them ready to run through a brick wall for Dion. So I do think that it could work out just because of, like I said, you get two great coordinators, that'll take care of itself. But there's no reason for Dion to go at all. There's absolutely no reason. The fact that Jerry Jones even called up Dion, I'm mad at in itself because he said he's not going nowhere. Don't go back on your word now. There's no reason. Mind you, that contract might be talking. Money might be money. They say money talks.
You don't need it.
That's not. Yeah, you need that. You don't need to be chasing the bag no more. You're not still that kid from Florida that was struggling. No, your legacy's already established. You're built. You're good. Generational wealth at this point because you're still getting a big contract for Colorado. The more games you win in Colorado, the more money you make. So just stay there. Like I said, you got good recruits. Build that team and build something. Try to build a powerhouse. Try to become the next powerhouse in college football.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, if Shador goes to the Giants or the Browns, and in the years to come, there's a coaching job available, go ahead. Go ahead. In about 5 years, if you build something for Colorado, you won about 2 championships, and then that opportunity presents itself, go ahead. Why not? Why not make history like what we saw LeBron and Bronny do? Why not? But right now is not the best time, especially when you gave your word that you're not leaving.
Yeah, and he said plenty of times that he's not going to say NFL coach. He said that plenty of times, right? But hey, we're gonna see what happens. I hope it don't happen just like you because I'm a Neon fan. I'm not finna cheer for the Cowboys. That's not what happen. So hey, I hope it don't happen. Hope we stay in college, all right. And then next coach we're gonna talk about real quick. Something that this topic has really just been sitting on my heart this for the past couple of days. I've been waiting for this podcast so I can say what I got to say about this. But Jerrick, I'm gonna let you go first. With Mike Tomlin, I'm not gonna ask a question. Should the Steelers move on from Mike Tomlin? Because for one, it's not gonna happen. All right, Mike Tomlin already said today, save your time if you want to try and trade for me because I ain't going nowhere, basically. So there's no point in asking that question. We already know the answer. But just what is your defense for Mike Tomlin, or if you've had enough of Mike Tomlin, what is your reasoning for that?
Of course, I've had enough of Mike Tomlin. That's my coach. Like I said, to the day he not, that's my coach. I'm gonna ride for him. But I can. Before the game, he talked about how all these playoff losses, he's kind of carrying them on him. Basically putting the blame, basically saying he needs to do a better job. And then we go out and the way we lose, for people to say like some of the things that people are saying, I'm not gonna get mad about, and it's kind of warranted because we weren't ready. We weren't prepared, and everybody says that it's a coach's job to make sure the team is prepared. Mike Tomlin normally has us prepared. We didn't look prepared. Now, mind you, Mike Tomlin can't tell a grown man to go out there and be a grown man and just not get manhandled all day. But we weren't ready from the jump, and that is the thing that people are gonna look at Mike Tomlin for. And that's the thing that Mike Tomlin normally always has his teams ready, especially his defense. His defense is always ready. In big moments, they're always ready. We weren't ready, so I can see that. But the problem is much deeper than Mike Tomlin. There's so many other things that we need to change before I say Mike Tomlin. Like if we made a list, Mike Tomlin is in the middle to the bottom of the list. Our offensive line is bad. It's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I told you not Kirk Herbstreit. He talked about Russell Wilson and how he's struggling with progressions. I've never known Russell Wilson to not be able to go through his progressions. Maybe what happened in Seattle was a one read type system, but I don't think so. It's the NFL. Not a lot of teams break stuff down for a quarterback to be a one read system. So the fact that he couldn't go through his progression, he looked like real antsy back there, like he's like almost like he's panicking. And I think a part of that was because he couldn't trust his O line. His O line, he's out here trying to look downfield, and mind you, I don't think our scheme was the best with the receivers we have. We didn't have enough weapons to just say, okay, get open. No, we needed plays to be schemed up and dialed up, and that's not the type of coordinator Arthur Smith is to me. To me, you get him the right guys, they'll fit into his system. He can work the run game and then get the play action going and the deep passes and all that because the run game is effective. But we have no running game. We had zero running game at all. And a lot of that has to do with the O line. People sit here, they bash Najee Harris and they praise Jalen Warren. Najee Harris, sometimes he doesn't hit the hole. But what I see is he has no hole to hit. It takes him a minute to hit the hole because he's not as fast or as quick as Jalen Warren. But I can't hit a hole if I need some time. He has no time. Like me and you said one day, if Le'Veon Bell was behind this O-line, I don't think he would do good either. He'd have his 1,000 yards, which people seem to not be impressed by, but I don't think he'd do as well because Le'Veon had a great O-line. This O-line is far from great. And it needs to change at this point. I don't know, is it the players or is it the O-line coach? So, and then our defense, like I said, we got punched in the mouth. Punched in the mouth and couldn't recover. And my big thing on Mike Tomlin, though, which one of these playoff games were we supposed to win? The one that I would say we were supposed to win is what started the losing streak against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We should have won that game. That's a game that we should have won. Blake Bortles made our defense look like he was Tom Brady out there. But we still fought hard. We came out to the end, and they made more plays than us. But after that, every single game, lost to the Chiefs. No, lost to the Browns. What went wrong? What could go wrong went wrong that game from the start. From the very beginning. I think they had it was like 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. Like, that's not, no matter how bad people say that Steelers team might have been or how much of frauds they were, that will never happen if we go and line up that game and play it back. That will never happen. We might lose, but we're not going to get embarrassed like that. It's not going to happen. When we played the Chiefs, Ben's last hoorah, his last ride, we were fighting to make sure he could get him one more playoff game, see what we could do. We played the Chiefs. Come on now, people. Y'all need to stop it. We played the Chiefs. Y'all expect us to win? No. Turned around. We played the Bills. Y'all expect us to win? No. Now we play the Ravens. You already expect us to win. Like, I went to school and people are saying, dang, man, your team's so bad. Your team sucks. Your team's trash. Y'all can't win a playoff game. Y'all said we were going to lose before the game. How can you tell me y'all going to lose before the game and clown me and say y'all aren't good, y'all going to lose before the game, and then bash my head and when we lose the game?
That boy preached.
We were going to lose.
That boy preached.
So the fact that we're bashing Mike Tomlin because we're losing games that on paper we're supposed to lose. Now, should we win or compete? Yes, but we're supposed to lose these games. So until I think honestly, in my opinion, what people have been saying is he needs a franchise QB to be a great coach. That might be true. That might be true. And if that is true, go get him a franchise quarterback, and then we talk about it.
It's a lot of coaches.
Go solve the problems, and then we talk about it. But the fact that we're going to sit here and bash him and say he needs to be fired when the man is doing his job, he's winning games. He's going out there. Like, in this last stretch of games that we lost, if you sit here and look at me and say, Mike Tomlin, what are you doing? Come on now. He's not even an offensive coach. He don't got nothing to do with the offense, really. Only thing that I can look at Mike Tomlin for is the coordinators that we've had in these years, in this stretch of being dead in the postseason. That's the only thing I can look at him for, because he should be able to pick better coordinators. We picked Matt Canada. Don't know what possessed him to pick back Canada, but it's okay. But that's the only thing that I can see people giving him like bashing his head in for.
Yeah.
Because he's not an offensive coach. He coaches the defense. What has been the best side of the ball in this since he's gotten to Pittsburgh? Besides when we had the Killer Bees for like 2 to 3 years. Other than that, what has been the best side of the ball? What has been bailing us out of games? What has been winning us games? A turnover and a Chris Boswell field goal. You know how many times we've seen that? We saw that so much when we were scoring touchdowns early in the season and winning games by a lot and putting up 30 points. You and me were shocked. We didn't know what we were looking at. So the fact that Mike Tomlin's side of the ball has been the reason why we've been over 500, not had a losing season, in my eyes, that's what makes him a great coach. His side of the ball is prepared. Now, were they prepared on Saturday? No. And that's when I say, okay, if you're going to, bash his head in and say it's his fault for that, okay, I'll give you that. His defense wasn't prepared. And I will say that some of that is on Mike. Majority of it is the defense. Like I said, you just got to man up at some point and say, I'm going to stop letting this guy run me over. I'm going to stop letting this guy pancake me.
He's a grown man.
But, so, yes, a little bit is on him, but it's still on the players. I can't tell y'all what to go. I can't go out there and play for y'all. Can't go out there and man up for y'all. But other than that, his side of the ball is always taken care of. He's always has the team prepared. So before we say fire Mike Tomlin, get him the pieces, get him the team to where we can say 100% in the beginning of the season. People aren't saying, "Oh, this team looks terrible." Whenever we're super, because mind you, we were picked to finish last in the division. How soon they forget? Picked to finish last in the division, and then we make the playoffs. We had a chance to win the division. We shot ourselves in the foot. Had a chance to win the division. We make it to the playoffs and lose the team that won our division to the team that everybody says is gonna be the downfall of the Chiefs. The team that people say is gonna dethrone the Chiefs and go win the Super Bowl, the so-called MVP of the league. We lose to them. Y'all say fire the man. We're supposed to make the playoffs. Supposed to finish dead last. We finished above the sorry tail Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, who didn't even have a defense. Losing the postseason, now it's a problem. So whenever we start off the year and Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and Darren Orlovsky and Skip Bayless and all these different people are saying the Steelers are going to win a Super Bowl, the Steelers are favorites, the Steelers are going to make a run, then when we lose first round or second round of the playoffs, then come talk to me about Mike Tomlin. But until he has a team that is ready to win the Super Bowl or win a couple playoff games, don't talk to me about Mike Tomlin. Just don't. Save your breath. I don't even want to hear it.
Man. That man, give Jerrick a round of applause, please. I agree with literally every single word he said. And, we're going to go over time today. I really don't care because I'm going to get my point across as well. But a lot of my point is re-emphasizing things that Jerrick said, but I'm going to say it in a different way. And I'll also make sure I cut this part out and make it a single video so everybody can make sure they hear what we got to say about this. Because this is really getting under my skin. I'm about to address the media. Because when I address the media, I mean mainstream media. So I'm talking about ESPN, FS1, CBS Sports, Barstool Sports, right? Because what we're doing right now, this is media, right? This podcast, this is media. And this is a stepping stone for me because I want to be on top one day, meaning that I want to be mainstream media. So if that's where I'm trying to go, I'm looking up to mainstream media, right? So I have to value what they say because they have the job that I want. You feel me? We here? We good? Okay. So if I want to be them one day, I value what they say. They are the experts, right? Then what they say matters. So I'm about to address what the media say going into the past 3 years that Mike Tomlin been coaching his team. We're going to have a losing season. It's only Mike Tomlin's first losing season.
First losing season. You know how many times I heard that?
How many times? Thank you. How many times we heard that? And we're not going to the playoffs. Stephen A. Smith, right? He's not going to hear this, but whatever. Still a fan. Said this team got 4th place in the division written all over them. But then just this week, he talking about Mike Tomlin. My whole thing is, you can't be the same people that said we're going to be below 500 and miss the playoffs and then turn around and say Mike Tomlin needs to go because he can't win a playoff game. It just doesn't make sense to me. It don't. Keep that same energy. If you say we're not gonna make the playoffs, and we make the playoffs, shut up. You lost. You was wrong. So then you gonna say we gonna win a playoff game that all of y'all said we gonna lose. Make that make sense. You get mad at Mike for losing a playoff game that everybody said we gonna lose. Media matters because these are the people that saying Mike Tomlin has to go. And let's address this real quick. 5 straight playoff losses, 8 years without a playoff win. I get it. That is horrendous. That is a blemish on his resume. That's the only blemish on Mike Tomlin's resume. Because he also, and this is one thing I gotta address too, Steelers fans, these sorry Steelers fans that say, oh, all we're gonna do is have a winning season. All we're gonna do is go above 500. How many coaches does that? How many coaches can guarantee you an above 500 record? Last time I checked, Mike Tomlin has 18 consecutive winning seasons behind 2 Hall of Fame coaches, Bill Belichick with 19. Mike Tomlin will pass him up. And then Tom Landry with 21. They have consecutive winning seasons, right? Bill Belichick has a losing season in his resume. He does. Post Tom Brady, Belichick has a losing season in his resume. Post Big Ben, Mike Tomlin does not have a losing season in his resume. Does not. Okay, so people keep saying, oh, they're going to be above 500. Well, that's not easy to do because if it was, everybody would be doing it. So y'all keep poo-pooing that like it's nothing when it is something. All right. Secondly, like you said, these playoff games that we're losing. The Jacksonville one, I have no excuses. We should not have lost that game. We were favored. We were supposed to make a run that year. We lost. Cool. I'm blaming it on Mike Tomlin. I don't have a problem with it. But as you said, the Browns game, and one thing that you didn't say, the first play of the game, Marquise Pouncey, snap. I've never seen Marquise Pouncey do this in my life. He is a future Hall of Fame center. One of the best centers the Steelers ever had. Snaps the ball over Ben's head. The Browns recover it for a touchdown. They up 7-0 in the first 15 seconds of the game. Then Ben on the next drive, Ben throws an interception. Jerricks, with 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second quarter, Ben already threw 3 interceptions. How in the world is that Mike Tomlin's fault? Make that make sense. For everybody that wanted to pull these graphics saying, oh, the Steelers keep losing playoff games, there's reasons why we're losing these playoff games. In that game, Ben played the worst first, 20 minutes of his career. 3 interceptions. That's ridiculous. And we was down 28-0 just like that. And then these next 3 games, we played the Chiefs next with a washed Ben against Patrick Mahomes. We was underdogs. We lost. We was not supposed to win that game. Then we played the Bills, underdog, with Mason Rudolph at quarterback against Josh Allen. We was underdogs. Wasn't supposed to win that game. Then the next year, this year, against the Ravens as underdogs, against a team that everybody swear, but now that mainstream media swear this team going to Louisiana. This team will be in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. We lose to them, and Mike Tomlin got to get fired. He's like, you can't punish a coach for losing games that they have no business winning. You can only give them credit when they win games they had no business winning. Granted, Dan Quinn had no business winning this year. You have to give him credit. Mike Tomlin in the playoffs, if you're an underdog, you're like, for example, the Broncos, underdogs. Ain't nobody bashing them for losing that game. They was the underdog. They wasn't supposed to win. So I don't understand. Like, there shouldn't even be a conversation. Yes, Mike Tomlin has to have success in the playoffs. I get it. But when you really look at these matchups, when you really look at these games, the Steelers was always the less than team. They was always the worst team out of the 2. And they lost. Like in that Chiefs game, Bills game, Ravens game, of course I have optimism because I'm a fan, but I didn't think we was gonna win that game 100%. I promise you I did. So, like I said, if mainstream media gonna keep saying we're gonna have losing seasons and we're gonna be below 500 and we're not gonna make the playoffs, please don't turn around after we make the playoffs and say Mike Tomlin gotta go. When he's proving y'all wrong every single year. He's shutting y'all up every single year. And y'all are the experts. People I'm supposed to look up to because I want to be in y'all spot one day. But me and Jerricks sat here and told y'all this team was going to the playoffs. We did. But the experts, the ones that's getting the big money, the ones that's on TV, Where I want to be eventually, they said this team wasn't going to be good. Then they're good, make the playoffs, and now it's a problem if they lose the first round. Get out of here. It's stupid to me. It's just stupid to me. And guess what? He not going nowhere. So what, Jared? Quit asking.
Good
Quit
asking.
asking. Quit asking. He's not going nowhere. So I'm tired of that. I really am. I'm really sick of it. And I addressed it. People keep asking me when this episode going to drop. What the hell should I say on Mike Tomlin? I said it. I rest my case. Because this is just, it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. All right, but real quick, we'll get out of here. I know we're over time. But Jerricks is going to give his divisional round picks this upcoming weekend. On Sunday, the first game is going to be Saturday. I'm sorry. Let me put this what's it called real quick. And mind you, I'm gonna do me and Tyrell gonna do our picks on Friday. All right. But divisional round, first game Saturday is gonna be the Texans at the Chiefs. Jerry, who you got?
What I try to tell you? What I tell you last week when you did tears? Don't bet against 15. I will not bet against 15. My team is out of the playoffs, so you know who that means is gonna win the Super Bowl. Who I'm saying is gonna win the Super Bowl till the very end. 15. Not even the Chiefs. 15. And it's that simple because it's 15. Now, mind you, the Texans, they might put up a little good fight in the beginning, but they don't have enough. CJ Stroud, he's not ready yet to go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. So it's the Chiefs. Pretty
All
simple.
right. Saturday night in Detroit, the Commanders, the underdogs, are traveling to Detroit to play the Lions at 7:00. Who you got?
The Lions. It's not gonna be close. Like I said earlier, you had a great run, Commanders. You exceeded expectations. You exceeded expectations. You did what none of us thought you were gonna do. At least not me. I know that the mainstream media you talk about, they didn't see it coming either. So when you get your heads bashed in against the Lions, don't feel bad. It's okay. It's okay. Go back, get better, improve. Like I said, they don't have the. This is a game of star power. They don't have the star power yet to compete with the Lions.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
You're right. You can't. You can't win them all.
100%. And then, and then on Sunday, our next doubleheader is the Rams and the Eagles. Jared, who you got?
I have the Eagles. I have the Eagles. I know how much you like the Rams, and I know this is gonna be a tough one for you when you shoot the episode with Tyrell. I can't wait to see what your pick's gonna be because you're so high on both these teams. This is the NFC Championship that you wanted. It's just a week early.
You're right. That's unfortunate.
Christmas come early. So yeah, but I have the Eagles. I think that is gonna come down to what we saw them do versus the Packers. I think that with their defense and the way that they're playing, they're gonna get out early and they're just gonna control the game. Like we've always said, having a run game in January matters. Having a strong run game in January matters. And we have the best running back in the league behind the best offensive line in the league. That matters. So when they get out early and then they're going to run the ball with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts is going to make good decisions, not turn the ball over. It's just going to be too much for the Rams. Like I could see this being a low-scoring win, kind of like how the Packers game was. So I have the Eagles.
All right. And then last but not least, the biggest game of the weekend. The Ravens traveling to Buffalo. Lamar versus Josh Allen. 2 MVP candidates. Who you got?
I don't like Bills Mafia. I can't stand Bills. I can't stand Bills fans. I don't like them. I really don't. But I can't stand the Baltimore Ravens even more. I got the Buffalo Bills. I really do. Josh Allen, he's gonna. To me, right now, this game, depending on how it plays out, should determine MVP. Now, if this is a Derrick Henry clinic, then no. But if this comes down to who played better football and that is why their team won, let this determine the MVP. Because I guarantee Josh Allen is about to go out there and show why he's the real MVP. He's going to go out there, he's going to put the cape on. He's going to go out there, and mind you, they looking for revenge from earlier in the season. That game kind of got out of hand. They're looking for revenge. Baltimore, they on their high horse right now because they went out there and they completely stumped us, which is what they were supposed to do. But so I think that their Bills are gonna go out there and Josh Allen is gonna make some spectacular plays. It's gonna, like you said, what John Harbaugh tends to do when it starts becoming a shootout, when things start to get tough, and it comes down to those critical decisions. I think he's gonna say, Lamar, go be great. In 8, not gonna be great. So I think that the Buffalo Bills will win, and they're gonna go on and move on to the Arrowhead Invitational.
All right. Well, Jake said it. That's his 4 winners for his upcoming weekend, and then we're going to see the final 4 the following weekend. But like I said, make sure that you catch. Where is it? All right. Make sure you catch me and Tyrell's episode on Friday. We're gonna do our bets and our picks for this upcoming divisional round weekend, y'all. It's like 3 more weeks left of football. Soak it in. After that, we gotta go watch the NBA, and you know how that's going right
Hey
now.
man, why you hating, dog? Why you hating?
I'm just
Chill out, man. Chill out.
not looking too pretty with viewership. But anyway, but we're gonna help
Viewership
out. We're
does
gonna
not
help out. We're gonna
matter.
help out though.
It don't matter. Viewership don't matter. First of all, viewership won't be that up because people came in. We can't sitting here. I haven't been able to watch a single Houston Rockets game on TV besides 2. One of them was the Cup game. The other one was because we had a primetime game. I can't watch the games here because of the TV and Adam Silver. So that's part of the reason. Let us watch the game. We want to watch them, so let us watch them. But hey, if you really sit down and watch the game, watch the primetime games, it's good basketball being played. I guarantee you.
You're right. Like I said, in playoffs they always turn up. So that's around the time.
You're right. You're right. And you will see Jason Tatum. It is the NFL playoffs is the Arrowhead Invitational, and that is the TD Garden Invitational.
Okay, let's not.
The TD Garden Invitational.
Apples and oranges, but
The
I'm
TD
gonna
no, the TD Garden Invitational.
I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna argue with you. All right, but that is it for the Straight to the Point podcast. All right, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe. I'll see y'all on Friday with Tyrell for our bets and our picks. Me and Jerrick out.